The $1 million earners, they're not messing around. They're not playing video games in the middle of the day. They're not taking hours off. They are using their time very effectively, and they value their time tremendously. They're treating their sales job like it's their own company. The more you want to help others succeed, the more you actually succeed yourself. You want to make $1 million, you have to become a person capable of making $1 million. And that's what I see with the top $1 million earners I coach. Hey there, it's Ian Koniak, and today I'm going to tell you about the life-changing money you can make in tech sales. I want to share, I just got off the phone with a guy who made $1.5 million. He's one of my coaching clients one-on-one. And in the past couple weeks, I've had 3 clients tell me they made more than $1 million working in tech sales. And I know you're watching this and you're like, what the hell? How would that even be possible? So what I want to cover today is, what are these people doing differently than everyone else? And how can you make life-changing money in tech sales? So what I want to tell you first and foremost is, it's not the things you think that they're doing that's making them successful, okay? So if you're gonna make, a lot of people on LinkedIn watching this, or YouTube, wherever you are, my newsletter, they think that tactics are gonna help them make that kind of money. They think writing a better email, improving conversion rates, having better discovery questions, knowing how to do a point of view. These are all things that are skill-based, but to be $1 million earner, you actually have to be worthy of making that kind of money. And when I say worthy, I mean, how do you run your life? How do you run your business? How do you engage with customers? It has to do more with the character and the qualities of the person than it does the tactics and the skills, okay? I'll give you just my own personal story. So I'm filming this from my house in Southern California in El Segundo, and you can see it's gorgeous. You know, this is our dream house, dream backyard. My office is back there. I get to work from home. I would never have been able to afford this house or do this renovation had it not been for tech sales. You see, before I became a coach and a CEO of my company, I was selling for 19 years, selling tech. And those last 4 years, I averaged $720,000 per year at Salesforce. So that's about $3 million over 4 years. Before that, I spent 15 years making between $200,000 and $300,000 a year. And that's where most of you are that are watching this video. You've been making good money, but not great money. It feels like a grind just to get to quota, just to hit your 250 OTE or 300 OTE or 200 OTE, whatever it is. But it's like, I'm working so hard, but I'm not cracking that threshold. And if you're resonating with that, this video is for you. You see, before I was able to make that life-changing money, before I was able to crack 7 figures, I wasn't the person I am today. I had to change who I was to make that money. I was a good salesman, but I was lacking some of the qualities that I see in these $1 million earners. And the thing that I think is really clear, for me anyway, is the common denominator between the $1 million earners and everyone else are these people are committed to being the very, very best they can be because it's deeply intrinsic. You see, it took me missing quota 3 years in a row before I actually decided that I needed to get help. And that's when I joined a mastermind. That's when I hired a coach. That's when I went all in. I went to 4 live mastermind events. I met with a group every single week. I had a coaching call every other week. And I was like, I invested $20,000 because I'm like, I can't do it on my own. So the first quality is humility. The people that are making the $1 million realize that they need help and they want mentorship and they're willing to invest in themselves to go out and get it. The second thing is they have a very, very strong why. And it's deeply personal. You see, for me, I didn't want to feel like a failure. I knew that I could do better, and being mediocre or good was not enough. I knew I could be the very, very best, and I wanted to be the very best because it was deeply important to me to prove to myself I could do it. And that is something that these $1 million earners have in common. They have a deep, deep desire to be able to pursue their full potential. They are extremely driven because they know the pain of failure. all these people have actually been in a place of darkness. They've been in a place where they haven't been successful, and then they've had to make some major life changes and major changes to their business. A lot of them have had to leave companies to go. For me, I was selling copiers for 10 years. I had to go start over at Salesforce to have a higher opportunity and be somewhere where making $1 million was even possible. But it was a deep desire to be the very best I can be. After doing it for 4 years, after crushing it for 4 years at Salesforce, I had $3 million in cash, okay, as a multimillionaire, and I had $2 million in real estate equity. I had $5 million, and that was all saved through tech sales. So it's not just that you have a strong why, that's personal. It's also that you have some life goals that you want to use the money for. So for me, a big motivation is I wanted to coach and have my own business. And so being able to save that money to be able to transition, okay, into tech sales, or I'm sorry, into coaching without the pressure that most entrepreneurs face was a huge why for me, right? So that to me is everything. It's like you got to know why you're trying to make $1 million. If you don't have a deeply personal reason that's either pursuing your full potential or starting a business or providing for your family, or in my case, buying my wife and my family our dream house, right? You're not going to show up and do the hard things that you need to do every day. You see, it's the character of the person, right? So someone who's committed to being the very best they can be, someone who's endured hardship and challenges and wants it really, really bad because they know what failure feels like, okay? And number 3 is building that discipline, okay? Building that discipline, right? So I used to be the guy, again, when I've shared this very publicly, I was an addict, and I come from a family of addicts. I lost my father when I was only 20 years old. He was 53. And I followed a lot of the same patterns. I binge drink on the weekends. I'd smoke a lot of weed. I'd watch porn. I'd gamble. You name it, I did it. I took Adderall. Like, all that shit had to leave me before I could be the person that I am today, before I could start the company that I am, before I could make the money that I made. I mean, fundamentally, like, you can't do those things and also have the discipline to show up and do the hard things, because the $1 million earners, they're not messing around. They're not playing video games in the middle of the day. They're not taking hours off. They are using their time very effectively, and they value their time tremendously. They're treating their sales job like it's their own company and being very judicious with saying no to things that are low value activities, whether it's personal distractions or whether it's customers that have no intention to buy or low value deals. They value their time, and they're extremely disciplined with their time. You see the theme here? Again, it's about becoming the person who's capable of making $1 million. And the 4th thing is they care. They care deeply about their customer success. In fact, when I was focused on my own success and wanting to be the very best I can be and wanting to make all this money, right? I was fighting so hard to prove I can do it, and I kept failing. But when I actually pivoted and shifted to making my customers successful and really just thinking of myself as an employee of their company, okay? And I mean, there's a million things that make $1 million earner, but like, these are the top ones that I could think of. That's when I started making the big money, because I would go above and beyond for them, right? I'm talking about really understanding what success looks like to them. I'm talking about really being a good partner. I'm talking about maybe giving up some short-term deals to do the right thing long-term for the client, even if it meant a deal pushed out in the corner of the quarter. So you have to be a person who cares deeply about customer success, because if you do, then you're going to go above and beyond for them. You're going to spend a lot of time, researching their account. You're going to prepare thoroughly for meetings and put together some very comprehensive presentations. I remember one of my accounts that I was working with hired a consultant to be able to assess and do an analysis of Salesforce versus Microsoft. And I spent 2 days with the consultant, really helping them develop a point of view. And it was like a 100-page document. And I was working nights and late. And like, it's because you care. You can't get the results that lead to huge transformational deals, right, without genuinely being deeply, deeply invested in your customer success. The more you want to help others succeed, the more you actually succeed yourself. And in fact, that still to this day is the way I operate my business. Like, I'm just interviewing for another seller, and one guy got the job, and then the 2 that didn't, even though they're interviewing with my head of sales, I called personally and I made sure they were good, and they both appreciated that so much. You just have to be a person who cares about other people and is willing to be self-sacrificing and do the hard things that you don't feel like doing to make sure that your clients are successful. Because sales is full of BS work. It's full of admin work. It's full of project management work. It's full of boring work. When you're dealing with these very large accounts that have long sales cycles, there's a lot of boring work in between, but you need to be able to be thorough and organized and, you know, very committed and responsive, right? So that's kind of the fifth quality is these reps are extremely responsive with their customers. They respond quickly, they take ownership of the client's success, and they're committed to going above and beyond to make their client successful. And that takes being a good person who puts clients ahead of yourself, okay? And I say that, again, it doesn't mean like don't have a life and grind and work till midnight. That's not what I was doing at all. It's about going above and beyond to do the right thing. It's high integrity, right? It's playing the long game. It's not trying to hard close somebody to get a deal. It's actually thinking about what's going to make them successful in the long term, even if it means maybe buying less up front to maybe delay the sales cycle that leads to a much bigger deal down the road. So I share this because so many people in sales, in tech sales, have gotten in and they don't see the opportunity because they don't have a strong why, because they're looking out for themselves. If you want to make $1 million, you have to become a person capable of making $1 million. And that's what I see with the top $1 million earners I coach. So for anyone watching this video who needs help becoming the person who is disciplined, becoming the person who cares more, becoming the person who is willing to go above and beyond, becoming the person who is committed and shows up every day even when they don't feel like it, becoming the person who's willing to do the boring, hard things, and getting more organized and getting more, less distracted and saying no to the things that don't serve him. Like if you want to become that person, that's why we built our coaching program. So I'll give you two links. One is if you want to talk to my team about how coaching can help you, like I just encourage you, like suck it up. You've tried to do it on your own this long. Okay, and it hasn't worked. If you're a person who's making 2 to 3, maybe your best year was 350 and you want to break through, like join other people. I'm coaching a ton of people making $500,000 and above, and in several, 3 specifically over the past 2 weeks, making over $1 million. And I'm sure there's plenty more who I haven't even surveyed yet. That just came the past 2 weeks. So join a community of high performers. Surround yourself with people that actually want to succeed. It's going to help you through osmosis, through learning from them directly. It's going to help you level up. So if you want to learn how to be part of our program, join me at the mastermind, get coached by me, learn from the team, learn from people in the program, click this link, book a call with my team, with Tanvir. If you're not ready to do that, you're not serious about it and just want the training, there's another training video right here. It's how to make $500 to $1 million in tech sale. You can watch that. I hope that helps you guys. And I wish you the best. I'm Ian Kodiak. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.